Hi Flosstube, welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I'm here to talk about cross stitch. Today is Thursday, December 5th. Time is flying. I cannot believe that we are almost at the end of the year. So I'm working today. I have a break between a couple of meetings, so I wanted to hop on and give an update. Hopefully I can edit it later today and get it posted online for you guys to see what I've been up to. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. I worked on 3 whips in November and I had another new start. I have a little bit of haul from Thrifting, and yeah, I'll tell you what else I've been working on and give you a bit of a life update at the end, maybe talk about how our Thanksgiving went with Ethan. So I will just get into the whips. So my main focus in November was my Thanksgiving project, which is Horn of Plenty, and it's from Just Cross Stitch magazine. Let's see. It's from this magazine, and it's this cover picture. My goal for this year has not been met yet, so this will probably stay out in December. But here is where I got to. Actually, last time you saw it without the... Alright, let's see if I can get this up here. So this is where I got to on this one. So my goal for this year was to stitch and backstitch the entire center picture and then start on the border. I almost have this entire part stitched, but not even close to backstitched. So I don't think that's going to happen this year, but I could still maybe get the center part stitched. So I did not do any more backstitching down here, but I did fill this in. So now I can backstitch all of this. I worked on these flowers, which are all finished, including the leaves. This little white spot here through here is more corn husk, so it just needs to be backstitched for you to really see what that's supposed to be. We've got this leaf finished, and then I'm working on finishing this leaf, and there's a couple like just little, you can kind of see here, just some little like wheat fronds that are mostly backstitched. So I'm very close to having this whole center thing entirely stitched, just needs the backstitching to go. So I think in December I'm still going to try to finish the cross stitching here, start on the border, and then just not try to finish the backstitch because that sounds really stressful. It really makes a huge difference. You can see down here that these grapes and this pumpkin are already backstitched, or maybe even better would be these 2 leaves are backstitched and these 2 are not. And it makes a real difference to the overall picture to get that backstitch in. It's really an important part of this project. Now, one of the reasons that I wanted to start the border is because I'm planning on bumping it out a little bit. I think that overall it's a little too tight to the middle image. I was originally, so I'm planning to bump the border out, which means moving it diagonally. It needs to be moved over to the side and down in order to move it out. That made the border kind of short, so I was originally planning on extending the border. I'm going to abandon that. I'm going to stitch the border just as it's charted, but I'm going to place it a little bit further away from the center motif. So I really just want to do some counting and get the first little bit in so that I can go from there. By moving it away from the center, I'm not going to be able to reference the middle to make sure that I'm lined up, but that doesn't matter because this is a standalone object. I'll just stitch it further away. So anyway, that's my plan for this one. I do think it's a little crowded like that, so I'm going to bump out that border a little bit, and hopefully I can get that started before the end of the year to meet my yearly goal on it. I'm stitching that one on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha, which is the kind with like the stamp on the front. So yeah, what else did I work on? I also worked on my Riola's kit. It's called White Owl. And I subbed out the fabric for this, but I am using all of the wool acrylic flosses. And so this is where I got to. So for this one, I decided that I would stitch up to the top, and then I would do the typewriter method like Sarah Stitching Mommy does with all of her projects. I don't want to do it with all of my projects. It just seemed like this was a good candidate for it, and I'm really happy with the progress that I made. It helps that it's all feathers, and so it's all like grays and beiges and whites, so one strand can do a lot of fill-in. There's not a whole lot of color changes, and they kind of flow naturally as feathers would. So it's really enjoyable to stitch it this way, and I'm happy with the progress I made on this. I think my goal for this year on this project was just to make any progress on it, and I've already stitched on it once this year. So this goal has been met. I'm not sure I'll pull it out again, but maybe I'll keep working on it. You can see it's on Navy Ada, which I really like. In the original picture, there is some snow. Oh no, this isn't the one I was thinking of, but I think the snow especially is going to stand out really well on this fabric. So yeah, that's my progress on this one. The other project that I worked on, the other whip that I worked on in November, was my Christmas stocking by Dimensions. This is Snowman Gathering Stocking. I like to stitch on this one when it snows. It has snowed a couple times here in the Denver area. The first snow, though, that I talked about last time I did an update, we got like 10 inches of snow, and then it melted fast, and then we were supposed to get another 10 inches. We ended up getting maybe only 4 inches, but it was still like a proper snow day. We got our gear on, we went outside and threw snowballs. Ethan had tons of fun throwing snowballs for Lola, and then Lola, they would get lost in the snow and Lola would dig for them. It was tons of fun as a family to go out there and play in the snow. So how far did I get on this one? Oh, this one is one I should maybe take out of the Q-snap. I'll just pull one side of it off. Let's see. This is where I got to. So for this project, I've decided I'm going to stitch around the outside of the stocking. So maybe this side is better. And so I've continued to follow this half stitch snow all the way around the toe, which on this stocking, the shape of the stitching is kind of weird because you leave some of the spaces white, but like the shape is kind of like this, and then around the edge. And I'm not quite to the heel of the stocking over here, but I'm getting there. And you maybe can't tell how many stitches are in there because it's such a light color, but I made pretty good progress for just doing this a couple nights. This is with the kit floss and fabric. And yeah, for now, I'm happy with this progress. I think this might become more of a focus next year, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in December and the rest of the winter, especially if I stitch on this when it snows. I could be stitching on this still in April or even May here in Colorado. So we'll just see what kind of progress we make with it. It's really enjoyable to stitch though. So those were the 3 whips that I worked on. I also had a new start. It was not a planned new start, and we can talk more about my goals for the year and my plans for next year in my year-end wrap-up video, my Whip Parade wrap-up video, which I am planning to do between Christmas and New Year's. We'll see. But I went ahead and I started a Long Dog sampler. This is Before I Sleep. This is on their website. It's in a weird place on their website. It's not with their other charts. I don't know if it's seasonal or other, but if you Google Before I Sleep Long Dog samplers, it'll take you right to their page to get it if you want it. So this one is supposed to be like a winter theme, and you can see there's lots of like little snowflakes, and there are some like poinsettia shapes and pine cones and that sort of thing. But I don't see it as entirely winter. So I think if I leave the snowflakes off, you could stitch it in any color. So what I'm gonna do, the reason I started it is because I started to gather the materials, and you know I picked up those flosses at an LNS when I was traveling, and I knew I wanted to try stitching on 25 count over 1. because I would like to start a full coverage on that count and I wanted to see how it worked. So once I gathered everything, I realized I had all the supplies to start it. I didn't need to wait until New Year for a new start. So I went ahead and I started it. Didn't make a ton of progress, and I'm going to take some of it out, but this is how far I got. I got a board here this time. Maybe that's better. Okay, so a couple of things here. So this is 25 count. I think it's Dublin linen. It's got a really loose weave to it, so I stitched a little bit and I thought about, do I want to suffer through this fabric or should I just buy something new? And then I got a little further and realized it's fine. It's just a little rustic compared with some of the tighter weave stuff you can find. But anyway, I'm doing it 1/1 full cross with a single strand of Weeks Dye Works. I think this one is the Weeks Dye Works one. But yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it. It's got a little bit of variation in the floss. And so this is the first, this is page 1. And so this is all the way over, well, not page 1, it's all the way over on one of these pages. Down here, I really don't like the way that the variegation is pooling. Again, I just don't have the right light to show you those subtleties. But I think I'm going to pick it out and I'm going to start stitching it in long vertical lines to get some of the same striping that I can see in person on the top. So yeah, that's just this top border in the corner. It's a little tiny start, but I do like over 1. I like 25 count. We're gonna keep going with this and we'll see how far we get. So this one brings me up to 15 whips to potentially carry into 2025. And I'll talk more about it in my update video, but I am comfortable with that number for now. I divided my patterns into different sizes from an extra small category up to an extra large category. None of my extra smalls are that small and none of my extra larges are that large. Just in my set of 15, I was able to assign them into groups. And so my idea for next year is that if I finish something, I can start something of a similar size and always have 15. We'll see how that goes, and I could change my mind between now and the end of the year, so there's always that. Okay, that is all I had for the cross-stitching part of it. I don't have a giveaway this video. I mentioned last time that's just a busy time of year right now, but I still do not have the mailing address for the winner of the last giveaway. So SBlazy, if you're watching, please go ahead and email me your address. If you're nervous about just sending your address out, you can always send me an email saying hello and I'll reply back and then you'll know that it really is my email. It's linked to my YouTube account. It's annauxstitch@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll connect to get that kit that you won headed your way. As far as haul goes, I did not buy anything new. I did find at a thrift store, I go to several thrift stores and I stay away for weeks or months and then I pop in just to see what's there. And I found by itself with no other cross stitch this Dimensions Gold Collection kit called the Angel of Elegance. And it's in this old original like bag, how they used to sell them. It's unopened. All the stuff is here. It's not dingy. Oops, hope that noise was not too loud. It's not dingy. Everything's in here. Yeah. Oh, pardon my reach. Just dropping things right and left. So this was at the thrift store for $4.99, and just as a kit in general, that's really, really reasonable. But this kit in particular is difficult to find, and so I'm probably going to sell this. I have 2 other kits of a similar style and they're both Santas. So I do like this style. I think this would be beautiful to stitch. Maybe I'll decide to keep it in my own stash, but I'm thinking since I have so much stuff in storage that I might try to sell this. And I have launched my eBay store. I'm not going to use YouTube to like sell stuff on eBay, but it's one of the things that I've been spending my time on is listing things and then shipping them. So that is up and running, and I'm probably going to put this on there at some point. It might be too late to post it this year for Christmas, but maybe I'll put it up next year. So this is an exciting find and totally worth the stop. In addition to that, my mom was out garage sailing, and she found a big box of cross-stitch patterns that the lady was selling. I don't remember what price she had on it, but my mom picked it up for $10. And when I was in Kansas visiting over Thanksgiving, I was able to go through the things that she had found, and I divided them into like, right, these are definitely donate, these are definitely keep, and then these are maybe sell. And so out of those, you know, that batch, I kept several things for my own collection, which made the price totally worth it. But then I also have some other things to give away and sell on my eBay store. So of the things that I'm going to keep that were in that box, we've got Donna Cooler's 555 Fabulous Cross-Stitch Patterns. And this book has a bunch of just like little pictures, and they're presented like this. So here's it's called the Flora and Fauna, and there's a picture of all these different animals, and then you're given that set of letters, and then all of the animals are just loose. Like you arrange them yourself, or you can choose different ones. So like here's what the patterns look like. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this book. There's a lot of cute little things that you could stitch just on their own. Like here's a page of vegetables. So I'll keep this one. There were several other things I kept too, like borders and fonts, letters, alphabets, that kind of thing. But the other two things I wanted to show you, I found this Country in Season Winter Barn, which I thought was really sweet, and I can imagine it stitched, instead of this oatmeal Aida that it's on, I can imagine this on a blue, or I've seen, I think it's Leanne at Rhubarb Patch Studio and others were stitching like ducks on, I think it's Cauldron by Picture This Plus, or something similar, where it has like a lot of different colors. I'll see if I can find it and put it in a picture of it, but I think that this scene would look really great with like sunset cloud fabric. And then I'm also going to keep this watercolor snowman pattern. You can't tell from here, but the white of the snowmen they're different specialty stitches. So like this one I believe is called Smyrna Cross, and so each of their bodies are made up of specialty stitches, and then their hats and things are just normal cross stitches. So I thought that would be fun to try. I'm thinking I would put the snowman just in a long row, maybe for like a winter cross stitch. So those are the things that I got on my haul. I also picked up some more rocks, but I'm not going to show them this time. I got this blue one and this orange one, and then this crystal here. So maybe sometime I'll show you my collection of rocks and fossils, but not today. Another project that I've been working on, I actually have to reach for it. Move my chair. One thing that I've been working on for Ethan for Christmas is a felt Christmas tree. So we have an ocean scene that I ordered from Etsy. It's just a big piece of felt that you Velcro to the wall, and then they're like little felt fish and sharks and seaweed that stick to it. And when I bought it off of Etsy, I remember thinking that the price was just a little dear, but it was worth it because at the time Ethan was little, we needed something quick. The point is, I reflected on that purchase a while and thought I could do it myself. And so I decided to make him a felt Christmas tree. I still need to get some Velcro to attach it, which I have on order. But here's the tree, and it will get stuck to the wall in our hallway upstairs. And then I've made some little things for Ethan to decorate it with. So I made some little felt candy canes. And if these don't stick to the felt, I'll just put a little piece of Velcro on the back, and that will definitely stick. So I made some candy canes. I made little holly berries. I got some stars. Oop, losing them. some big stars, some little stars. We have some pine cones, which I went and bought puffy paint. I can't remember the last time I used puffy paint, but this is glitter puffy paint for these pine cones. And then I also used the paint on these little gingerbread men. See, different colors. Aren't they cute? Really easy. I just printed a coloring page of different Christmas decorations, and then I cut them out on cardstock, and then I traced them onto the felt. I also have some ornaments, but these aren't totally finished. I'm gonna let him play with them this year, but I really want to add sequins, and I had a big bag of sequins from another project, and I know I put it somewhere thinking I'll remember that these special things are in this special place instead of with the rest of my craft stuff. So now I don't know where they are. So this year we're doing no sequins, and maybe next year Ethan will be old enough to help me put the sequins on. But anyway, that's another project I've been working on, and something I'm excited to show Ethan pretty soon because it's already December 5th. So that was a Christmas tree. For as far as like a life update, I just feel like we're in a time warp right now, you know, especially between Thanksgiving and Christmas. There's just all of the leisure time is filled up with tasks, like year-end tasks. Like we have performance reviews at my job, so we have to fill out all of that stuff. Okay, so in November, we spent a couple of weekends going hiking with Ethan. It's been really nice out. I mean, it's still chilly. We have to bundle up, but it's been really great to get outside. It's been unusually warm here, like 10 to 15 degrees above what it normally is. So it'd usually be like in the mid 40s this time of year during the day in the sun, and it's been in the 60s. Unusual that it's so warm. That also makes it so that if it does snow, it melts really quickly because the ground is so warm. So we were able to take Ethan to a trail to go down by the river to throw some rocks in the river. We took Lola with us, which we don't always do because it's hard to wrangle both of them. They're like two toddlers, my toddler and my dog. So yeah, we went to the river and threw rocks in. It was great. We drove to Kansas. It was about a 7-hour drive with a long stop in the middle. Ethan was great. He got a lot of screen time, which is fine because he's, you know, strapped in for hours on end. But this was the first time that he actually watched content for like 4 hours straight. And, you know, I sit in the back seat with him, and so I was able to do a little bit of cross-stitching back there. But I also need to be ready for like when he drops his sippy cup or when he wants a new episode, like that kind of thing. So I'm hands-on, and it's a little bit better than being fully hands-on, having the screen time, but it was still, yeah, it was fine. It was great. He was great. He didn't cry, he didn't fuss, he did great. So then we had a great Thanksgiving in Kansas. We visit my parents, and then my grandma lives in a town near there, and so on actual Thanksgiving we drove to my grandma's house, and we were there with all the cousins, aunts and uncles. It was so fun to see the kids running around. I remember thinking when I was growing up and like school aged and my brothers were school aged, we would still get together with all of our second cousins, and we would run around and be crazy in the basement. And I have really fond memories of that. And then over the years, you know, we've lost contact with our second cousins. We really just see the first cousins. And even that, as we're all growing up and having our own families, we're seeing less and less of the first cousins. The point is, at this event, all of the kids running around were second cousins to each other because they were our kids. And it just, seeing that happen there was just so heartwarming to think about my own childhood and how it's still important to get together with family and make those memories. And we really enjoyed our time with extended family there. When we went back to my parents' town on Black Friday, we spent a lot of time outside. We hiked in a little park there. And then there's a playground there that they decorate with Christmas lights every year. And so we took Ethan there after dark. You know, it wasn't very late. It was like 5 p.m. But we went there to play some more on the playground and go through the lights. So we took my my niece and nephew and Ethan, and then also my cousin's kid. So we had the 4 kids with us, and we were running around those Christmas lights, and it was really great. The drive home was awesome. Ethan did really well. Again, he watched like 6 hours of Spidey. And then when we got home, it was the last day of November. So when we woke up on December 1st, it was time to decorate the Christmas tree. Ethan was a big help. He actually likes to wear his dinosaur costume from Halloween last year, so it doesn't really fit him anymore. But he likes to be a dinosaur. And so when he was decorating, we said, "You're such a helpful boy." And he would correct us and say, "He's a helpful dinosaur." So the dinosaur helped us decorate. He's so cute and he's so great. I have a lot of breakable decorations, just like traditional Christmas baubles, but then also I started collecting ornaments from our travels. And so I have a new ornament from Venice and an ornament from Florence from this year from traveling to Italy. And I have some others too. And we didn't get any of those out because the dinosaur was helping. And there's a part of me that wanted to strip the tree down after Ethan went to bed and decorate it my way. And a prior version of myself probably would have done that. But this year, after looking at the tree, I just moved a few ornaments around and it looks great. It's not balanced. It doesn't have all of my sparkle on it, but it's going to work for us this year. It's still very festive, and knowing that Ethan can touch almost anything on the tree without hurting it it's nice. And I am proud of myself and my own personal growth for allowing the toddler to enjoy Christmas instead of insisting that I have it my way. So I feel like some of you can relate to that, like from the perfectionism point of view, or it's like you want Christmas to be exactly the way that you planned it and envisioned it, and then it comes time to it and you just let it go. It's beautiful, it's great the way it is, and yeah, so like I said, I'm proud of my own personal growth, and I think Ethan can take a lot of credit for my growth as a person. So yeah, just a little insight into my reasoning right now. But yeah, that's all I have. I need to get back to work, so I'm going to end this now, and hopefully I'll be back for a regular update at the end of December and a year-end wrap-up. And I've been debating doing a stash dive video. If you guys are interested in that, in seeing what kind of patterns I have in my stash, I haven't done that for several years, and I've gained a lot since then. So just let me know in the comments if you'd like a stash dive video. But otherwise, I will see you guys hopefully in about a month. Happy stitching. Bye.